When curiosity asks, what's across the street? And monotony says, that's not the plan. Exploration says,
all right, everybody, bienvenue. Welcome to the second final round, CEC Youth Bouldering Nationals. Just getting started with the introductions. Bonjour tout le monde, it's ici en Montréal toujours, CEC Youth Bouldering Nationals. We are just getting the introductions started for the Youth A and Junior categories. Pete Woods here with Phil Lantier. Phil, une autre fois, another trip around some finals boulders.
Absolument. Pete, écoute, c'est une grande fin de semaine d'escalade pour les compétiteurs juniors et juvéniles ici du pays. On a des gens qui voyagent et qui sont venus des quatre coins. On a une bonne représentation de la Colombie-Britannique.
Absolument.
De l'Ontario. Et on a 3 athlètes du Québec qui se sont rendus dans cette phase finale au niveau junior A, juvénile A et junior plutôt. Et ça va être très, très intéressant. Puis les blocs sont beaux encore une fois. L'équipe des ouvreurs s'est démenée pour mettre de la qualité sur les murs et c'est le spectacle qui va en bénéficier.
Absolutely. The boulders look fantastic. The route setting crew has done an amazing job all weekend. The finals boulders are really, 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 really good. We had a fantastic round this morning for the C and B categories and well received, well climbed. Everybody worked really hard as you would expect, and we are getting ready for the big kids show. So we got Youth A climbers, we got the junior climbers, and as you were saying, ridiculous representation from BC. They took an entire category down. So Youth A boys is the BC boys category. And then we got Quebec climbers, Ontario climbers, and Alberta climbers across all the rest of the categories. So we're a couple minutes from starting the preview. And then at 2 minutes per boulder for the preview, we're going to kick over almost immediately to the start of the comp. So when these guys start previewing you, we're going to talk to you a little bit about how the comp's going to run. And then we're going to get moving into this final round. So some of them are already looking.
Yeah. So
World Cup / finals format, which is 4 minutes for each person to try the boulder. Everybody climbs boulder 1 in all categories, and then they all move on to their second, third, and fourth boulders. They all stay in isolation together. After they've climbed, they go into a secondary isolation, so they cannot talk to the climbers that have yet to come out. But right now, what we see is the collaboration, competitive side of things. So they're previewing the boulders as a group, and they're going to share beta. They're going to try and work out the sequence, and they're going to take these 2 minutes to get a little bit of extra information about each of these boulders.
Yep, and as per World Cup rules, they're allowed to touch the starting holds. You know, that's what we're seeing a lot of competitors do to get a feel of what this will look like to get up and press up into these boulders to begin with. So, yeah, what we have here, we've got a couple of different boulders, obviously, 4 for each category, and some of them are shared. And that's why we'll get to see a couple of groups of climbers on specific boulders. What we're seeing now is boulder 1 for the ladies youth juvenile A group, and also is going to be the boulder for the junior female category. So
yeah, each of these boulders getting shared by 2 categories. There's only so many boulders you can put up on the wall. So to imagine to be able to split across 2 categories with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boulders, you got to get 2 groups on each boulder. So really interesting to get the route setting correct in order to test the climbers across 2 different categories. The juniors and youth A are as different as the Bs and Cs are from each other. And then, of course, even though they're talking about beta together while they preview the boulder, everyone still has to solve for their own strengths and weaknesses. So we might all be talking together like, oh, left hand, right hand, but you know in your heart of hearts whether or not you can match a hold or whether or not you're going to have to do something a little bit different.
I don't know, Pete, has anybody tried to throw anybody off with like bad beta in the observation phase and then keep good beta for themselves?
Never happens. Never happens. You might, obviously when you come out to climb the boulder, you're going to make your own decisions, but you're going to share, you're going to talk about it. In the places where there's multiple sequences, everyone's going to talk about all the options. Not everyone's going to say, oh, I'm definitely going to do that. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, it could be left hand, could be right hand, could stand up here, might swap my feet. They're all listening to all the information that they're sharing, and then you're deciding what's going to work for you. I mean, if you've been climbing for any length of time, even just in the gym, you can watch somebody try a boulder and know that that's not how you're going to choose to do it. So at the end of the day, when you're standing out with your 4 minutes, it's you and the boulder.
Absolutely, Pete. And we're going to get these young athletes to have their time to shine on the big spotlight here in Montreal at Bloc Shop. A fantastic weekend of climbing so far. Perhaps we can talk a bit about the route setting team.
Absolutely.
So chief setter is Simon Parton out of BC. We've got assistant head setter Loic Martel-Magnan coming out of Délire, the Délire gyms in Quebec. And from then on, you've got Alana Yip, you've got Nathan Smith, you've got Lucas Uchida coming in for setting and forerunning. You've got also some usual suspects from Bloc Shop. You got Nicolas Vouillamos, Mathieu Elie, and obviously Fred Charon giving a helping hand to the head route setters as one of the co-owners of the Bloc Shop gyms.
And you see Chloe running around taking care of basically everything else. So Chloe has been non-stop whirlwind of movement. So we absolutely have to thank everybody that's been a part of this comp, from the volunteer side, from the gym side, from the management side, from the guys making coffee, feeding people, checking people in, cleaning the floors. You got to imagine there's 260 climbers here on Saturday, 70 coaches, plus everybody watching. You got 500 people in and out of your gym for 3 days. It takes its toll, and every morning we come in and it looks like no one was there the day before. So a huge effort by everybody to put on a comp of this magnitude, have it run smoothly, and have it go really, really well. So lots of volunteers, all the judges, of course, the CEC crew that came in to make sure that we're following all the rules, and the climbers. We have to thank the climbers for being the show. These guys climb Saturday on the qualifiers, they climb yesterday on their semifinals, they come back and climb today. 3 days on, the skin hurts, the muscles hurt, everything hurts a little bit, and yet they come out, the adrenaline kicks in, and it's like, the 2 days before melt away, and these guys just come out and pull down. These ladies come out and pull down. And if this afternoon is anything like this morning, you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one quick word about the route setting style is the choices have been made to really test these young Canadian athletes to make sure that they are being tested to the extent that they might be tested on an international stage. So, there have been, some crushed egos perhaps along the way, a lot of tears, some sweat. We know there's been some blood as well. So that's all that's, been given by the athletes is we put the test out for them, and they've been responding with just amazing beta, amazing, efforts. And, the show has just benefited from all that.
Et beaucoup de créativité.
Chaque
bloc a les options. Et des athlètes qui décident de faire comme des mouvements desperatifs au fin de leurs 4 minutes.
Puis aussi juste beaucoup d'essais et d'erreurs, beaucoup d'expérimentation, comme tu dis, de la créativité, de l'audace. Et je pense qu'on va en revoir encore beaucoup cet après-midi, là, fait que, avec des grimpeurs encore plus expérimentés. Mais non, sincèrement, ça a été tout un spectacle jusqu'à présent.
Absolutely, and you know that the finals that they set on earlier in the week. So the route setters have been here for days and days and days putting these boulders up. They watch the qualifiers, they watch the semis very, very carefully, taking a ridiculous amount of notes. And then when they come back to their finals problems, they do make some tweaks from when they were first set based on what they've seen through the earlier rounds. So Simon Parton, a veteran route setter, has achieved quite a few serious events. He's set at the international level as well. So what you've got is this experience and the effort that goes into making boulders that fit the climbers that have made it into each round should not go unnoticed. The note papers, you know, you look at Simon pulling out notes from last year, from other comps. They know these climbers. You know, Simon's a BC native himself, so he's well aware of what the BC boys category is capable of. He's seen them climb hard boulders on his home turf, and they're absolutely going to get tested today.
And, you know, we've been in for a treat, Pete, because we've been behind the scenes. We've been seeing the setting, the forerunning. You're in for a treat here because there are some novelties on the wall. But one thing for sure is that, you know, Simon Parton and his route setting team, they were discussing, you know, so much strategy with regards to who sent what. How many tops did we get yesterday? Who's getting zones and how are they getting them? So, you know, all these little details, minute details, are being tracked and are used for decision making. And all that benefits the show, but it also helps us spread the field and make sure that at the end of the day, we've got undisputed winners, champions for these Canadian Youth Bouldering Nationals.
Right, and what we're looking at right here is the great equalizer. That's the slab feature. The slab problems have proved to be separators across the rounds that we've watched. Good question from Jen Sortier. Do you think they're more relaxed? Maybe. Finals is still finals. They know each other. They know, obviously, the abilities of each other. So perhaps they're a little more relaxed. But finals is finals. So you can be, you know, familiar with your compatriots, but you still need to go out and climb the boulders, and that's where the nerves come in, is once you're on the blocks.
And what's on the line at the end of the day also, Pete, is a place on the national team, right? So there's only so many spots.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is what's at stake here. And I don't think because you know the competitors well that's going to make it any easier. In some cases, that can actually heighten the competition.
Yeah, I mean, I was just joking with Lucas Uchida earlier. I said, are you coming to Open National? He said, of course. I said, you're going to win? He said, of course. I said, what if Sean McCall's there? And he said, I'm going to win anyway. So you know who you've got to be up against. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to be up the show. So let's pull up just, we got some graphics for the finalists. So we're going to show you who we got in here. Youth A girls, 7th place, Aspen Hendry, Anne-Sophie Nguyen, Sonia Colliander, Riley Galloway, Indiana Chapman, Maggie Hammer, who's a U.S. national, and Paige Baklashuk. Off the hop here, because we've made the decision, if you weren't watching this morning, the U.S. nationals, foreign nationals to us, are climbing at the front of the field. So even though Maggie qualified in second, we want to have all the Canadian climbers climbing at the same time. So Maggie Hammer is going to get her own show at the start of each of these boulders. So for right now, it's the Maggie Hammer show, and we're going to get a good look at boulder number 1.
Yeah, Pete didn't want me to say it's going to be hammer time.
Too late. It's hammer time.
I had to say it.
Yeah.
It's hammer time.
It's hammer time. The Hammer family was here. Didi, yeah, I mean, they don't have to have a slab problem, but they love testing climbers on slab, and it tends to be a really, really, really good way to test the thing that people often dislike the most.
Yeah, Zach Hammer in the Youth C category or Youth B category. He did a great job. So strong set of climbers in this family. As we get a good glimpse of boulder number 1 for the Youth A female group.
And this is sort of the classic, people will use the expression pebble wrestling. This is a wrestling match just to get off the ground. There's really nothing to grab on these big round volumes. You just got to get purchase as much as possible. We think that they might decide to turn inside out to get up through this section here at the very beginning, but you just have to push and pull and kind of strain your way through this. And it's not always going to be pretty at the start of this boulder, but they just got to get, as you look at Maggie kind of turning around and reaching over her head, and rest assured that the angles, although these are big holds, you need to be careful or you're just going to slip right off. But Maggie making some progress. Yeah, James, that's a good point, that they are selected to go to the camp from this comp. So your position at Nationals is, we get a good look at that, the stab required to stay established on that hold. And then there will be a selection camp in which we make the final decision for the national team. But at stake is getting invited to that camp.
Yeah, thanks for that precision.
Oh, that's nice work here. Doing exactly as advertised. There is a little foot jib where her left foot is. And that's a nice top.
So second try, send.
And thanks for that, David. So Sonia instead of Sonia. We will endeavor to make all the correct adjustments.
Yeah, thanks for being present this whole weekend. We see some usual suspects on the chat. You're helping us out, making it a lot more fun for us to call the play-by-play for you guys.
And we get fact-checked every now and then.
That's
we
true.
Throw out some cavalier statements off the cuff because, we don't have 8 computers up. We don't have anyone running stats for us. We do things from memory. So if you want to go and look something up online and fact-check some of the things that we're saying, please, by all means, the more information we can get out, the better. So if you know where somebody went, where they've traveled to, drop us a line. We're going to get underway right now with a full round. So you're going to get Aspen Hendry. We're going to get Ethan Hoffman. And then we're going to get Sophie Butendijk for the juniors and Sean Faulkner for the junior boys.
Oh.
On the right of your screen right away,
Ethan
Hoffman showing you this flagpole move that's required right out of ISO.
Yep. You need to be ready on the outset. Oh, and he sticks it.
And then a bit of a slam dunk finish. This hold's pretty good. If you're going to get there, you're probably going to stay on it.
Oh. Sophie Butendijk.
Working her way up these red slopers. All of these on the latter half have a jib screwed into them to give you a little extra finger purchase.
And that's a top here for Sean Faulkner. Sophie.
Nice. And there you see Ethan Hoffman winding up again. So a good hold, but a long way. Tough to generate momentum.
Yeah, what may initially look like perhaps just a dead point, a dynamic dead point on that final move is actually a lot more intricate.
Yeah, the angle changes. So there's a diagonal line that you'll see when we get back up there that's sort of framed by that lower volume. So as you're going up and right, the wall's getting farther and farther away from you because it turns to almost vertical and you're climbing out of a slight overhang. So that does make that last move a little bit challenging. So we got a bunch of tops really quick in the middle of the field, in the middle of the gym. We're left with 2 climbers still working out.
He's
2 minutes to go.
Inching closer with, still some time ahead of him. Meanwhile, là, ici, on a Aspen Hendry. Alors, Aspen tente de tourner le coin en dynamique. Tantôt, on a vu déjà, en fait, on a vu Maggie Hammer avec une main gauche qui, alors qu'elle faisait face à l'extérieur, là, était ouverte à l'extérieur.
Et la pied gauche, c'est la différence quand
exact.
tu tournes le coin là.
Alors, il reste encore du temps pour Aspen afin qu'elle puisse trouver sa séquence. Elle semble préférer une approche pour être face au mur. On va voir si ça se passe aussi comme ça.
Just catching Ethan missing that last hold by a fingertip or less. Aspen regarde là.
Ouais.
Il va poil à pied gauche jusqu'au moment où elle focus sur les mains.
Ouais.
Mais il faut aller les 4 points.
Ouais. Stopper un peu le momentum qui nous amène vers la gauche dans notre mouvement dynamique avec un pied sur le volume bleu.
Oui, absolument. Ethan running out of tries. 30 seconds to go. Very nice. So a bit of a learned movement. Couple tries to solve when to push, when to pull. And then you saw what you get is a really quick resolution of that movement. So learned movements in 4 minutes are very difficult. If you've ever tried a problem in a gym for a week and finally figured it out, imagine trying to do it in 4 minutes or less.
Try to muster enough muscle memory in a couple of days' time. Yeah, that can happen. But as you mentioned, to do it in the thick of a competition is something else.
We can take a minute to thank our sponsors, as we generally like to do. So we're at the Bloc shop, obviously a huge piece of this. The title sponsor of the entire series is Mountain Equipment Co-op, the MEC. The event partner here in Montreal is the North Face. And then we have sponsors from La Ville de Montréal, On-Site Climbing, Simple Volumes, which you see up on the wall, these blue and white volumes, Flashed and La Sportiva. And then we have Black Diamond, Digit Climbing, and Mad Rock, who have all contributed to make this event possible. So we can, Sofiane Nguyen, Victor Baudrin, who is born in Quebec, lives in America, and is climbing for BC. And then we have Yinky Ying and Dylan Bokenfor on the junior side of things.
So we got Dylan and Victor already at the zone holds.
Moving very quickly. You see this kind of, they've created almost a crack climb here.
Yeah.
To finish this boulder. Quick work from Dylan Bokenfor.
That's a flash, folks. He'll be happy with his start to the comp.
A nice treat out of ISO to send your first boulder. You see Yinky moving through the roof section here.
Yeah. Oh, cutting loose.
Yeah, there is room for a toe hook up there. There's some jibs on the underside of those volumes. And Sophie is trying to solve the start. Sometimes the hardest part of the boulder is the start.
Yeah.
Sometimes the hardest part of the boulder is the finish. There's no natural progression from let's ease into this thing, getting off the ground. You need to be tested. Ooh.
Alors Anne-Sophie ici à gauche qui tente de bien démarrer son bloc. Alors ces volumes-là qui sont fabriqués par délire font en sorte que leur forme, cylindrique, fait en sorte que ça peut être assez fuyant quand on place un pied sur le volume. Alors, c'est assez instable et insécure pour les grimpeurs.
Ça glisse.
Oui, ça glisse un peu, malgré toute la friction et en fait le revêtement qu'on retrouve sur ces prises-là. Mais ici, Anne-Sophie trouve la séquence, comme je mentionnais un peu plus tôt, qui préconise une approche qui fait face à la foule. Et voyons si elle va pouvoir faire la transition vers la gauche.
Nice top from Victor. And then Yinky back up into this, electing to go almost double to the zone and the opposition hold. See if she can keep her feet engaged enough to stick on these crimps. There you go.
Yeah, she's got
toe
a
and
really
heel.
Interesting heel technique for her right foot there on the zone.
And a slam dunk for the finish.
And Yinky's shown, that she's quite a powerful climber. Et maintenant, Anne-Sophie.
Qui traverse.
Anne-Sophie a réussi la transition vers la gauche. Il ne lui reste que quelques mouvements, mais ça demeure très technique.
Oui, les mouvements assez difficiles.
Il reste 30 secondes pour Anne-Sophie, qui grimpe du centre d'escalade Vertige à Sherbrooke.
She's going to try it again, but, I mean, it took her almost a minute to get there, so I don't know that 20 seconds is going to be enough, and she's going to take that as a save a little bit of gas. So remember here that they do have a pretty long rest between attempts, so the part of the setting for finals, 4 minutes to try the boulder, and then 24 minutes to rest. So you do have time. You can set harder boulders because they get the preview. They're not on site. They don't have to spend that minute solving the sequence in isolation. We give them 4 minutes to try the boulder. Harder boulders, more rest, harder sequences because of the complexity. They get to solve it as a group. So the route setters get to test them. It's kind of a layer deeper than they do during the on-site round. Semifinals generally sort of thought of as the hardest round because you were in isolation and you need to go from 20 climbers down to 6. So you do have to make some hard separation. But the finals themselves, complexity and difficulty and expended effort definitely goes up.
So Sonia or Soko on boulder number 1.
I'll take a good nickname. We can call people by their nicknames all day. Anybody else know? If you know nicknames of these guys, let us know.
Sonia getting into the off-width section of this dihedral. Awkward climbing.
You see that the facing in might be, we've seen both now, sort of 2 of each, and they both look equally awkward, to be honest.
They do, and actually it does seem like the facing in version of this sequence is a bit more shoulder intensive, as we can see Sonia here.
Because you got to keep your hips in, which means your shoulders are folded back. And look at this, getting a toe up. Good grief.
It's not a deep dihedral, so the space that you do have is very limited. But of the limited space that she does have, Sonia is making the most of it. Meanwhile,
Guy McNamee on his second try.
And we also had Madison Fisher have a quick top out. Madison showing us a lot of power yesterday.
She did, definitely. And meanwhile, so everyone's been up and down a boulder twice, and Sonia is on her first attempt.
And
just a slip.
Not enough to get to the zone. So you see where that zone volume is. That's quite a long ways to go to even get a zone in comparison to other boulders that we have here today.
Nearly 2 minutes of climbing just to get there. So this boulder, while maybe not, when you think of sort of difficult climbing and then sapping you out, it being steep climbing, a boulder like this is stealing time from you. So if you take a long time to get through, you might only get 2 attempts on this boulder, and that makes them very, very valuable attempts. And I know that, this idea that we spoke of, we've been talking about all weekend of, route setters are in collaboration with the athletes. They want to create boulders that do get done. They want to test them, but they want to steal attempts. They want to create separation. They want to make them think about it. If you can get a climber to second guess themselves, try one sequence and then another sequence, and now you've stuck deciding what you want to do on your third, maybe final try. So all of these things are skill sets that route setters build over time. Is how do you steal time? How do you steal attempts? How do you get inside someone's confidence, make them question them whether or not they're making the right decisions?
Integrating ambiguity and fostering questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sonia here, still working with that right toe high. I myself cannot touch my toes when I'm in the middle of a boulder, so that always impresses me.
Yeah, and just a quick comment. So apart from Maggie Hammer, who's topped this boulder, No one else had gotten to this zone.
Oh, and you see how hard that sort of trailing right hand move is.
So Sonia celebrating that zone that she's just gotten, and Sophie just before had gotten nearly just as far, but was not credited with the zone.
You have to actually make a movement while controlling the zone. You cannot just touch it. You have to grab it and then move a hand or a foot, showing that you are able to use that hold. So Riley Galloway, Brennan Doyle from, of course, BC, Lisa Van de Pan from Alberta, and Zach Richardson from Ontario. Running to start, brushing before his time was started. You know he's excited to come out and climb, and they're jumping the clock. The first boulder generally sees the least amount of time between the ground and starting because the boulders are fresh in their memory from the preview they did not very long ago. So over on your right, a quick stick from Brennan Doyle. And he is moving well towards the top of this boulder.
Meanwhile, Zach Richardson quickly dispatching to the zone, and
Brennan trying to generate momentum here.
Getting a flash of boulder number 1.
Nice work from Brennan. So it took him a few wind-ups to figure out whether or not his foot was going to stay on. That is, as you might imagine, not the best foothold in the world.
Yeah, they have to assume that it's like a step.
Yeah.
Like a big, large foothold. That's what they have to imagine it to be.
Yeah, in
These
your
climbers.
head, you got to believe.
You got to make it
Exactly.
as good as a huge rung.
Riley Galloway here. Eyeing up. Well, I think she looks like she's going to try and go sort of the dynamic coordination. No, she's going to stay static. You see her palm. The white portions of these volumes are no texture at all. They are as slick as your countertop at home.
Whoa, and the foot slips off, but she...
Saved by the thumb, really.
Yeah, and her right foot as well, so...
Then the finish here is more awkward than you might think as well. You have to reach over exactly like that. There are 2 small jibs on that final hold, and you got to get over to go and get them. So you're leaning over your head in order to stick those holds. It appears straightforward, maybe that you would just go up, stand up, and grab them, but Riley, who's a really strong climber, showing you right there that there is nothing straightforward about finishing a boulder in finals. Lisa Van de Pan getting out the roof on her first boulder. We get a look at the couple of slopers here and how bendy you've got to be to look back over your head. The boulder that...
Yeah, we were discussing this, Pete. You know, it's really awkward how those volumes are set in the roof with regards to the height of these competitors.
Kind of in the way of yourself, really.
Yeah. But that's not stopping Lisa here, and she's at a really great semifinal round where I think she topped 3 boulders.
Yeah, she's moving well here, and the trick is what happens when you release this toe hook. Can you hold the swing?
Yeah.
Or can you get your right foot to stick? And great core control from Lisa. Look at that. Using just the toe. I can't explain how hard it is to keep your toe on a sloping foothold when you're on little finger jibs. That is a lot harder to do than Lisa made it look.
Lisa just displaying the core strength that, you know, she's been training to maintain and develop. So there have been hours of painful core routines behind that sequence right there.
And she climbs out of my home gym out of Boulder in Calgary, and I can tell you firsthand, I see the workouts that they do, and that's well deserved. That means the homework she put in just paid off. 5 seconds to go. Riley's got to hustle. 2, 1, heartbreak. No.
Heartbreak for Riley Galloway.
And she kind of gives the judge, did I get it, did I not? In her heart she knows, but you're hoping maybe you did. So you can see it right there. She's disappointed to have been 1 or 2 seconds away from topping her first boulder. Got to shake that off.
Yeah, she really does, and I hope she does because she's a great climber, and there's a lot more good climbing to be done here in this finals.
Absolutely. Indiana Chapman now from Ontario. Ben Newman, of course, from BC in the Youth A category. B. Evans, Ontario climber for the juniors. And you got David Trudeau qui vient d'ici, Bloc pour les juniors. Quickly up into this boulder, David. He moves quickly when he climbs, David. Il est vite avec les pieds, les placements.
Il se place bien, David, à l'aise sur des petites prises, des petites réglettes et un flash assez à l'aise de la part de David Trudeau.
And then we get Ben Newman seeing that same feeling of the wind-up. He might try and do this.
He's almost on a
no-hand stand-up. I would be impressed by that, but I do think you need to move dynamically here. You go back to the gym and work on your pistol squats. The one-legged high step, harder than it looks. I encourage you to put your foot up on your counter. B. Evans moving through also very cleanly here. Yeah, that's a happy match.
And a happy flash, too.
Yep.
Dr. Stepp's happy with that. So are we.
Indiana Chapman now. I think on her first attempt still. It just takes a long time to get out of the corner.
Yep. Gets the zone, controls it, so.
Now there are decisions to be made about footwork.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting sequence by Indiana.
And you are going to get a look at Ben Newman going, no hands to finish. Indiana Chapman, great work.
Yeah, she was so patient on that. You know, you can see how she's a seasoned competitor, and you could just see how that was handy for her in taking her time on the zone and getting her composure to get to the top.
And I love this move. So interesting to set like that, to be able to see that movement and then create it. A hallmark of modern route setting is these sort of out-of-balance dynamic movement. Ben Newman.
So Ben is bunched up like this, and the difficulty is just doing a one-legged pistol squat like Pete was mentioning with very little, push factor coming out of your left hand on that last hold.
There you go.
And
what was required was the wind-up.
Much like Ethan Hoffman, it's like it was a movement that was broken down into a couple of different movements. So pushing out from the left, hiking up on your foot and doing that squat, and then doing one last push with the arms.
Exactly.
To get you up and over.
Yeah, it's like sort of a movement broken down into pieces, as you say. It's hard to do it smoothly because that foothold isn't very good. If you just sort of rock in and stand up, it's going to slide off. So you need to be careful about it. And as we were mentioning, that angle changes. So you're going from a gentle overhang to basically a vertical wall. So really well set final move that looks straightforward but doesn't climb straightforward. All right, last climbers of boulder number 1. Paige Bach-the-Shock, Kinder McNamee, the second of the McNamee twins from BC. Then you have Bronwyn Carnes and Man Ellis, your top qualifier in the junior boys category, coming from Ontario.
So just for the junior men, 3 flashes so far, and an ascent that has taken two attempts for Sean Faulkner, and Finn Battersby doing it in 3. So these attempts will prove really important down the line. So Man Ellis, who was come in first place, trying to stick it one arm.
Yeah. Sort of, it looks like a really good hold, but it is a sloper. So Paige, you can see facing out. You can see Kinder over on the right, just trying to line up this move, and he's trying to do it without doing the flagpole move. So he tried to go right foot over instead of palm down. And I don't know if he just doesn't. They've talked about it, so he knows that that's what he needs to do, but he's just trying to find a way to do it statically, just in case.
Man Ellis trying to get that crimp on the left of the volume, but without having hiked up the heel.
Exactly. Paige making the left foot stab, getting around the corner, working towards this zone. Got to get over there. Careful footwork. So she's elected to get that left foot up high before trying to come in here, and it's working for her.
Controlling that compression.
And then looking back for this right foot, which is the difference maker.
And it
just missed.
Yeah.
Just missed.
Missing a bit of that coordination. Yeah, Man Ellis opting once again not to match his left hand with his heel hook, opting for a more burly, dynamic sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings him to 3 attempts.
Let's see if Kinder's going to change his mind. Yeah, and he's going to go for that flagpole.
Meanwhile, Bronwyn Karnas
getting out of the beginning. It's a tale of two boulders. You got to get weird and facing the wrong way, and then you get to turn around and bear down on some crimps.
Yeah, she's looking good here now.
These guys love to get their fingers behind something. They don't always want to be wrestling volumes. They're big fans of getting their fingers wrapped around holds, and then it gives them a chance to bend their arms.
So here's Man Ellis on his 4th attempt. He finally opted for the heel hook, hand-foot match, and getting a hand jam almost.
Didn't look comfortable, but got it done.
So,
all right. So 1 minute to go. Paige is back up in her corner, working back around these wedding cake style volumes from Delir. And Kinder has not yet solved the first move on his first boulder. 40 seconds seems like a long time, but this boulder climbs so slowly. You got to be able to control the fear of rush to finish without rushing so much that you might lose a foot along the way.
yeah, it's such a beautiful and aesthetic boulder with these nice simple volumes. So
we'll be looking for Paige to be more careful with her right foot placement. How's a quick look at the clock to see if she's got time to be careful.
Oh.
And just falling away.
12 seconds to go, so
Kinder unsuccessful.
Paige and Kinder, who qualified first for finals through semis, have not topped their boulders. So that's rather surprising, but
not unexpected. So, you know, it's all about style, and it's all about what you do in each moment. And if you can come out, I mean, I've seen people go from 6th to 1st.
Oh, it's not over by a long shot, though.
Yeah, so one boulder does not a finals make, but tops are valuable when there's only 4 to choose from. So we are moving on to boulder number 2 with our friend Maggie Hammer from the USA, all by herself. She's going to be climbing that red boulder that we just saw the junior girls climbing out from. We get a little tease of the slab that is to come on round 3 and 4. So this will be, we'll get a good look at the way these women choose to start this boulder. So you can kind of get turned around as you like. Maggie really strong, just electing to hop for that. No real surprise there.
Looking solid through this roof section.
Yeah, looked solid all day yesterday. Composed climber for sure.
Opting to keep the heel, bring in a toe a bit higher up. Interesting.
Yeah, and just hanging on to the crimps.
Wow, 2 flashes.
Great stuff.
Is it 2 flashes, or has she done boulder number? I think she had 2 tries on boulder number 1.
I believe you are correct. Sophosaurus, Chloe. Are you sure that that's what she wants us to say? The Sophosaurus?
Sophosaurus. All right, I
Why
like
not?
it.
Why not? All right. Aspen Hendry, Ethan Hoffman, Sophie Butendyke, and Sean Faulkner getting a look at boulder number 2.
So last time the BC Bouldering Army had a go at a boulder on this feature, on this part of the wall, they sort of just
ran up it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a walk in the park. So Ethan Hoffman gets to get a Sun train going, hopefully.
That's what he's hoping for sure.
On a Aspen Hendry qui va être dans le toit sur le bloc numéro 2 qu'on a déjà vu précédemment du côté junior. Alors, on vient de voir Maggie Hammer le faire avec une certaine aisance. Voyons si Aspen en fera de même.
Ethan, you see Ethan swinging around on the left of your screen there. Doesn't have to be pretty. Just missing the bottom half of that crimp rail.
Yeah, but I don't think he had put the heel on yet.
No, he had not. He elected to just go get it a little bit. Maybe overconfident. It's a pretty good crimp, so maybe I can just go campus to it. The Sophosaurus making her way out of the dihedral.
That's right.
We get Sean Faulkner, who solved the opening to this, staring down the finish. He's going getting a lot of push from that left hand.
Trying to do it like a slab, but the thing is, the minute you stand up and your hips get higher up, you then feel the full profile of the wall pushing you away. So
exactly, you get a surprise.
And that's
you see him back it up here.
Yeah, that's why we saw the competitors do it in such a, broken down, multi-tiered movement.
Yeah, a complex movement that doesn't look like it should be. Super interesting. I'm loving watching the way these guys are doing this boulder.
Yeah, you were talking about root setters, trying to program just a bit of discomfort, and that's what we're seeing here. So let's see what Ethan can do. And
he's being a little more careful now. Yeah, moving to the finish.
Yeah, third try's a charm for Ethan Hoffman, sorry. Et on a
Sophie
et Anne Aspen qui s'étaient rendues à la prise de zone dans le toit, mais qui est tombée. Alors, il reste 1 minute, 15 secondes, 1 minute and 13 seconds to go.
Sean, it's such a good hold. It's so far away. He's got a little bit of momentum. Oh my goodness, this will be exciting. So good precision footwork there. Be interesting if he tries that again. Yeah, Jeff, we're definitely going to split when we can. Absolutely.
Aspen ici, dans le toit, elle retrouve le niveau qu'elle avait tantôt. Arrive à prendre la prise intermédiaire, le petit jibs, en utilisant un crochet de pointe, mais semble être incommodé par le talon à côté de sa main pour aller chercher la première prise sur le dernier panneau.
Oh, and Sean's going to do this dynamic placement again, and it works for him.
Yeah, he just sort of smothered his foot, haphazardly, but he made it work.
Yeah, he got right down in the middle of his forefoot. Toes not required. With 10 seconds to go, Yeah, you're going to see Sophie not get up for another attempt at the top of that boulder.
Same for Aspen. Et maintenant, c'est Anne-Sophie Nguyen qu'on va voir sur ce même bloc rouge dans le toit.
So we're going to run back down the current standings after the first boulder. So starting with the Youth A girls, Maggie Hammer with one top and a zone. Indiana Chapman with one top and a zone. And then Paige with the zone, Riley, Sonia, and Aspen, and Sophie Nguyen rounding out the bottom of that field. The Youth A boys, Ethan Hoffman with 1 and 1, Brennan Doyle with a top and a zone, Guy McNamee with 1 and 1, and then one extra try. And then Victor Baudrin, Ben Newman, and Kinder McNamee rounding out the rest of that field. As we watch a few good starts.
Alors Anne-Sophie, qu'on voit ici naviguer le début du toit, c'est déjà une bonne chose de faite. C'est pas confortable parce que, comme vous voyez, elle a quasiment les poignets cassés.
Juste dans la gorge.
Oui, c'est ça. Le module, il est placé pour que ce soit assez inconfortable. On sait que c'est ce que les ouvreurs cherchent à faire. Et pendant ce temps, elle choisit peut-être le placement optimal pour ses pieds.
Et aussi, si tu fasses à l'extérieur, c'est peut-être un peu plus facile pour commencer la bloc, mais ce n'est pas nécessairement la plus confortable.
Exact. Victor Baudrin.
Being very careful with how he takes these crimps. Not looking super excited to make this last move, but he makes it work. Shake out how his crimp hand.
Yeah, it's pretty indicative of how much he had to squeeze that hold. And
absolutely.
Like you mentioned, those fingers are sore. This is a third day on. And while Victor's halfway through his finals round, he's got 2 more boulders to go, and he's doing very well for himself.
Absolutely. Your junior girls after 1 boulder, Sophie Buitendijk with 1 top and 2 zones. Sorry, 1 and 1. The scores come in very quickly. Then you have B. Evans, Madison Fisher, Yinky Bronwyn, and Lisa Van de Pan closing out that, all with 1 top. Various number of attempts to get that top.
So Dylan had flashed boulder number 1. So here he is on boulder number 2. Meanwhile, Yinky Ying on the split screen on the left has made a successful transition to the face part of this climb.
And the junior boys currently all have 1 top with various numbers of tries. So you get Sean, Dylan, David, Zach, Finn, and Man. And you get a nice top from Dylan there.
2 tops.
Yeah, that's good stuff. 2 and 2. Oh, Yinky moving very dynamically in a hold that has thrown off the people that have tried to move dynamically to it. So a little bit of careful movement required there.
Et ici, on voit que Anne-Sophie a dû mettre du tape pour éviter de saigner. C'est ça, hein, la difficulté de se frotter, de se mesurer sur des volumes comme ça qui ont une texture de papier sablé. C'est que Anne-Sophie ici a dû se râper, s'érafler un peu le poignet. Mais c'est le genre de choses que les compétiteurs en escalade sont habitués à vivre. Alors, elle doit continuer, elle doit persévérer malgré tout. Il reste par contre 15 secondes. Alors, si elle veut avoir au moins une zone, il est temps pour elle d'accélérer la cadence un peu.
Yeah, it's a little bit of blood and a little bit of tape is the cost of doing business. Oh, and right at the wire. I don't think she would have had time to match that, but she'll be disappointed, of course, to have not stuck the last hold.
Yeah, I don't think she had seen the beta where you need to put your right foot out and stabilizing that final move. But
no. And sometimes it's a difference between seeing the beta and then just deciding that you don't need it. Oh, I don't need a right foot. I'll just stick it. right? I'm just going to go up there and be a little bit stronger. So
and yeah, on the final hold that is being brushed right now, you have 2 jibs. You've got a thumb catch underneath, and you've got a really small, maybe two finger sort of divot jib that, dynamically wouldn't be that much of a help. That much help.
No, and they're facing the wrong way. So your right foot is the foot that's swinging out, and there is no opposition. You're squeezing 2 holds that are facing down and to the left. So in order for you to want your right foot to swing out, you really want to have a right hand that you can pull in with. And this, it's straight over your head, and the farther left you go, the worse those 2 crimps get. So that right foot is critical. I'm going to say critical to topping this boulder.
I agree.
All right. Sonia Colliander, Soko from BC, Guy McNamee, Madison Fisher, and Finn Battersby out for their second boulder of the evening. Guy taking some time to do some housekeeping.
Yep.
The boulders get brushed by the brushing crew after every attempt. But some people just want to do their own work. They want to get a little bit more chalk cleaned off.
You know what? I usually insist on brushing my own holds a bit more. Nobody does it like I do. You know what I mean, Pete?
Exactly. You're like, I know best. I know where I want to pick that.
It's an art, man.
Yeah, and if you scrub hard enough, you can maybe get a little, you can carve an edge in your mind. If I brush enough, I'm going to create some space.
Yep.
Only true in Red Rocks.
On that soft sandstone. So, Sonia easing into that zone hold. Opting for a
just using
heel
the
in.
heel, yeah. She does have really good contact strength, as most of them do, but you see some people need the heel toe, and Sonia just
Sonia.
kind of double.
Oh,
no.
Coming up just short on that last move. And meanwhile,
Guy McNamee,
yeah,
a couple of tries to stick the first move, and then once he was on it, it was no mistakes. So interesting from Sonia there, who kind of moved through what looks to be has proven to be the harder part of the boulder pretty smoothly, barely campusing through the zone hold, and then coming off the last move, which all the ladies who got to that point had done quite smoothly. So, it's never a done deal.
never.
Just because you have the zone, just because you're on the second last hole, just because you were looking good to that point, that's why you make them climb the boulders. We don't phone it in. Madison Fisher looking not very comfortable at all with her elbows turned inside out.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Finn Battersby is still staring at the start of this boulder. Hasn't had a ton of success getting through the beginning.
1 minute and 30 seconds still to go. So that's how fast time goes by, folks.
Yep. Madison Fisher moving around the corner. Oh, and holding it on a campus.
It's not the first time she's displayed her upper body strength.
No.
She didn't need that left foot volume to stabilize.
One minute to go. Soko back right at the top here.
Oh no.
That's disappointment right there.
And here, Madison Fisher opting for a crossing.
Right foot. Haven't seen that yet, and she didn't like the way that felt.
Out, right?
Yeah, immediately opting out. She's got lots of time. Just got to get it right.
Oh,
my goodness.
That was some amazing
flexibility, accuracy
in a drop knee.
In a blind drop knee stab. Oh, and look at this.
Soko's back at it. 20 seconds.
Sprinting up this boulder. She's got time. 10 seconds. That's enough. Dig deep, Soko.
Oh, no. What a proud effort by Sonia Colliander from BC. And crowd letting her know that that was well appreciated.
Exactly. And I think just her left foot let her down there. you know, as she was moving to the final hold, all 3 times it looked like she was losing some purchase on that jib that pushes you up to the final hold. All right, down to the middle of the field. Riley Galloway, Brennan Doyle on the youth side, and then Lisa Van de Panne and Zach Richardson for the juniors. Everybody tightening their shoes. All the BC guys have immediately brushed. Lisa just having a quick minute to remember her sequence. The same from Riley. Meanwhile, Brennan and Zach are just jumping on. Oh my goodness, on the corner of your screen you saw Zach Richardson go right hand instead of the flagpole move and then kind of stab his left hand down. That's a really fundamentally different from how anyone else has tried it. We'll see what he does on the last move
And
after
Brennan
a start
Doyle
like that.
Cruising this boulder for a flash.
Good work.
Didn't even need to match his heel.
And Zach Richardson also flashing this boulder. I don't know that we're going to see anyone else go right hand like that.
Yeah, and you wonder why, you know, sometimes an athlete does it. Is that because he's favoring his left shoulder, or he's got an injury niggle, something that makes it, you know, makes him use some different beta?
Sometimes that's it, and sometimes you just think, I don't want to do that. I think I'm strong enough to stick that thing with my right hand. Riley Galloway keeping that heel hook. Ooh, started to go and then, yeah, she's wound it up and then slowed it down, which is essentially what you saw Sonia do. Meanwhile, Lisa on her first try, a full minute to get in and around this corner. Man, that's just biting time out. But if you move confidently and you flash the boulder, it does not matter how long you take. Lisa holding on without needing that left foot. Good catch. And you know there's no footholds where her left foot is now. That's just a smear. So this is friction required territory. And now there's a tiny jib on that bolted on volume here.
You know, this is the first comp that I've seen Lisa climb in, and I'm really impressed by her determination, her patience. And she's still got a minute and 20 seconds to go. I don't think she's fazed by that at all, to be honest.
No, I think she'll take something away from that fall and see what she needs to do with her footwork to avoid that slip on her second try, which is only going to be 2 tries on this boulder. Meanwhile, Riley quickly back, my fault, back up past the zone, and then just not enough pull.
We sort of just did some commentating curse.
Yeah, back-to-back,
action,
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, we got fact-checked by Mark Dirksen. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks for keeping us honest.
30 seconds now. The clock is not in Lisa's favor. Riley's boulder climbs a lot quicker, so she's back up to the zone. Oh, my goodness.
That's interesting.
The classic Egyptian, as it used to be called.
Oh.
And we got Riley back up on top of the boulder. Lisa's going to walk away. Riley just going to lose that left foot. So, yeah, just because you've seen them done doesn't mean they're not difficult boulders. We might see some shifting in the standings, just the way that they're climbing right now. A couple of the early athletes to come out have topped boulders that the middle of the pack has not had success on.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. It's going to mix things up. But at the same time, we're only halfway through after these boulders have been said and done. So So B. Evans shuffling.
B running all. It's the long walk from ISO to the far left of the wall. Aware that everybody's watching her get out there. Oh, were you waiting for me? Sorry. Indiana Chapman reaching through, keeping the toe hook as long as possible.
Yeah, amazing control here.
Strong work from Indiana. That's a flash.
That's 2 flashes.
It is.
In 2 boulders.
And B. Evans just coming off as she came around the corner. David Trudeau got this move right second time. And he's figuring out immediately how awkward the last move is. Oh, look at this. Right hand under the volume to give him some balance. But immediately rejects it.
So David, il semble chercher avec son pied gauche une adhérence qui le permettrait d'avoir une forme d'opposition et d'impulsion pour aller plus vers la droite. Il semble hésiter entre quelle méthode prendre.
Hésiter longtemps, c'est comme 30 secondes sur la prise.
Ouais.
C'est assez fatigant.
Il reste 1 minute 50 encore pour David Trudeau pour qu'il puisse trouver la solution adéquate. Puis à date, la solution qu'on a vue, Pete, c'est assez clair. Il y a une tendance claire qui se dégage et c'est d'avoir un mouvement qui te permet de générer une impulsion alors que tu es plus bas et de la maintenir par après avec vraiment un squat, quasiment un déplié complet de la jambe droite vers le haut, tout en maintenant une direction vers le haut et vers la droite. Fait que pas tout à fait évident avec la forme du mur et là où les pieds sont placés.
Oui, et après ça, c'est toujours dynamique.
Oui.
Tout le mouvement, c'est dynamique, mais c'est lent puis en contrôle. B. Evans now looking really good on her second try on this boulder, getting a clean drop knee and a nice finish. Yes. David Trudeau, la deuxième essai. Le premier essai, c'est comme il prend 30 secondes dans ce mouvement. La deuxième fois, immédiatement, fait la décision et c'est un top.
Et c'est super important que David ait réussi ce bloc-là en très peu d'essais parce que d'autres compétiteurs dans cette catégorie l'ont eu du premier essai, l'ont flashé. Et si on se rappelle, sur le bloc numéro 1, c'est la même chose. Il y a eu beaucoup d'ascension du premier essai. Alors, les essais seront comptés pour cette finale.
Oui, absolument.
Qu'on se le dise. Et donc, David a prolongé son efficacité avec 2 tentatives seulement nécessaires pour le top ici.
Oui. Et maintenant, les derniers grimpeurs pour le deuxième bloc. Dr. Sepp throwing out some prizes while we wait for Bronwyn Carnes to make her the long walk from ISO. And we got Kinder and Page for the youth side. Bronwyn and Mann Ellis climbing on the juniors. Of course, everyone's biased. I see you guys on there. I promise we try and show everybody that's doing something interesting. We caught the middle of Ben's climb. He did top it. We are going to try and get as much screen time for all the climbers as possible. I promise you that.
To be upfront and honest about it, you know, Ben doesn't give us much chance to cover his climbing because he's so efficient in topping boulders systematically. So, you know.
Yeah. True. And then Mann Ellis.
Yes.
Wow, that was super quick, super confident.
And really key for him because he took 4 attempts on the first boulder. We know boulders, that these attempts will count. So he's getting himself back in contention with a flash ascent of this boulder number 2.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you see Kinder having some issues. He's moving out very dynamically for this first move and having trouble matching that crimp. Page went sort of almost mini double dyno and wasn't able to stick the 2. And Bronwyn having some small issue getting that boulder started as well.
Yeah, so Kinder, it seems like the momentum he's generating is getting his hips out against the wall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's moving farther away very quickly before he has time to get up and stick that hold. So seeing on the radio screen page, maybe going to go a little bit more statically this time. That's much better from Page on the right, and Kinder sticking it one hand full swing. So once he gets his mitts on it, he's good at staying on the wall. So we can stay with this shot. We'll maybe get to see both of these guys top boulders.
Yeah.
One after the other. Page, be careful here. No mistakes this time. Kinder
tries.
McNamee. She'll be psyched after not getting the first one.
That's right.
And Kinder coming around the corner.
Oh,
my goodness. I thought he was going to save that. I really did. It's not over till it's over. Bronwyn here.
It's a big span out left to get that big squadra hold. So,
yeah, I would argue, Alia, that and it was definitely man style. He didn't hesitate on that balk. He just jumped on, ran up it. Bob's your
real
uncle.
nice and fluid.
Absolutely. So,
fluid style.
Absolutely. So Kinder and Bronwyn with a minute to go here. Kinder's got enough time to do this boulder. Bronwyn needs to be careful, as we've said ad nauseum. That boulder climbs long.
What?
Again with the one-hand swing.
Just
showing you he's got power to spare, but
needs to
that's
keep
not
it together.
always enough. He does have to keep it together, absolutely. Only
So-
person to put a right heel on there.
Yeah.
Just got to get closer to the wall, Kinder.
Reeling it in.
Sweet.
And that's important for Kinder because didn't top boulder number one, the dynamic move that we've been seeing a lot of. As we see Bronwyn Karnis getting to the zone.
20 seconds to go. My palms are sweating.
They are.
15. Bronwyn got to hustle on a boulder that you got to be careful on. It looks like she's not even going to go to the far rail.
She needs
10
to compress.
seconds. BK. Oh, she kind of did it as a coordination move. And unfortunately for her, wasn't able to make it stick. You can see the frustration just by the way she's picking up her gear.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to hide, unfortunately. You know, when you're on the mat, your frustration comes out. It's fine. I'm never going to fault somebody for looking frustrated. I'm never going to fault somebody for showing emotion on the mat.
No.
It's inherent. It's part of the deal. So it's what you need to have. All right, so we are moving on. Boulder number 3. So these boulders are grouped differently. You're going to see the slab climbs at the same time, which is super convenient. And then we got a little bit of the steep side. You can see on the left side of your screen the brushers brushing. And then we got up the right side, a beautiful blue climb on the right side of your screen. So these boulders now, boulder number 3, we're moving on.
That's funny.
Everyone's a comedian in this place.
Yep.
Maggie
Good vibes. Good vibes.
Good
here.
vibes. Maggie Hammer giving us a good look at this. So it's important to note here, these volumes all nested together, but where her right hand is, that's the zone hold. So you got to move up through there and then hang on to some sort of poorly angled triangular volumes from Simple. Really interesting shapes here. The start holds are gigantic, for lack of a better term, but don't provide a lot for footwork after you've climbed past them.
So this is the first boulder of this round that Maggie has not flashed.
This is true.
And
you look at the start of this, although it's not a difference maker, that left foot is 100% dual text. So there's no friction where her left foot is.
Yeah, Pete was actually trimming his beard, looking at his reflection in that volume earlier today.
It's about how shiny they are. Like I said, go and grab the lip of your marble countertop at home. Let me know if you'd like to climb on that on a 30-degree angle. So
yeah.
Maggie a little slower here. Releasing this left side is where the crux is.
And, you know, what we haven't mentioned is that the final volume, dual text volume, has a jib screwed on it as an undercling. The thing is, it's a simple white frictionless jib. So if you're getting too much momentum, it's very much like the other parts of these simple volume climbing holds. So if you overshoot and you're not controlled, you will slip off.
Yeah, that is, and you're a little bit of sweat, a little bit too much chalk even. It's a devious decision to be made.
Here it is. You can see it right there.
That white triangle.
It's got no texture.
And the foot is quite low here as well. So you got to make a lot of interesting decisions in how you choose to finish this problem.
And it's definitely become a skill in modern climbing with a lot of volumes these last couple of years, so that, you know, cupping, which way and which direction you're putting your wrist in to have, you know, the meat part of your hand really wrapping around these volumes and getting the most purchase. So that is what that whole section with those 3 volumes near the zone hold is all about. You need to be crafty and show all your skill in maximizing these triangular volumes.
Right, and you might see a different sequence in different attempts here, whether you go, you know, left hand bump match. When you're matching these and you sort of hog the good part, you don't leave yourself any room to fall in. So definitely a lot of decision making to be had when you're deciding on the sequence you're going to use through those triangles. It's a really nice boulder, and Maggie, who is crushing the other ones, is showing you that it is going to be really difficult to get to the top of. She's going to put one more crack at it. 20 seconds to go. She has already established the zone, so this is, you know, she's gunning for the top.
Yeah,
she's
so that's it for her. 10 seconds to go, and yeah, so there was a boulder here that was a match for Maggie Hammer.
We found one.
Yeah, she got the zone, so that will prove useful, but that might be a good, you know, measure of how hard this boulder will be for the Youth A girls.
Exactly, and she's displayed strength in all styles, so it's not just that this is suddenly not her style. She's climbed really well on the steeper, more powerful boulders as well. Yeah, I can put up the links for you. It's on comp season. So if you search for comp season, Google comp season, just type in compseason.com, you will find it. And I'm just going to paste it for you right now as well into the chat. So if you're on the chat, that's your link right there. You can choose from that page which category. And we're going to run it down for you right now as well. After 2 boulders, we'll go starting with, as we watch these guys get up moving, I'm going to look up the results, try and pepper them in here.
And meanwhile, Paul had a question on the chat asking why Maggie came out first. So as Pete had mentioned earlier, the decision by the CEC is to have the foreign nationals climb first so that all the Canadian climbers are together in the final part of the round. So that's why Maggie was climbing all on her own, and that's how it's been for these finals.
That was exciting from Sean Faulkner, making quick work of that slab. And you hear Sophie here being so careful.
Wow.
Showing real poise on this slab in non-ideal situations.
Sophosaurus, like, busting impeccable slab technique so far.
Absolutely. Yeah,
oh.
And then just a little bit of dynamic movement sometimes is all it takes to kick someone off a slab climb. Get a good look at Ethan here on your left on this boulder. This one is no small feat of power. So you're going up to these 2 pinches, which are wide and not super good. The angle they're facing down on. Electing to bump out. So Ethan making this look pretty good right now. Meanwhile, we see Aspen Endry getting right to where Maggie was. Ethan Hoffman now dialing it in.
Allez, Aspen, super belle posture. Elle tient les volumes
yes.
avec assez de force.
Oh, and then just enough for her to fall out, but that was Really good work.
Bravo à Aspen. Il reste encore 1 minute 30 pour elle de répéter, d'égaler cet exploit, de se rendre quasiment en posture pour aller à la prise de fin. Toutefois, comme on le mentionnait un peu plus tôt, la prise de fin, c'est un jib, une petite prise, une réglette sans friction, complètement lisse, qui a été vissée sur le volume de fin. Alors, il ne faut pas le précipiter, ce mouvement-là. Il faut le faire délicatement pour espérer pouvoir maîtriser la prise de fin.
Tout en contrôle avec la pied droite, ça va être la tension, la core tension va faire une grosse différence pour finir cette bloc.
1 minute to go.
Sauf, getting much calmer on the move to that crimp there.
And what do you think about the last move on this men's boulder number 3, Pete? It feels like it has a similar sort of move as we've seen on the dynamic red boulder, because you need to pull in and then generate with your leg.
Exactly,
to be able to reach it.
And you look at the angles. The where your foot is sort of falling away. So the higher you get up, the worse that foot becomes. So as you're generating, you feel really good when you see him in that scoop down low. Could stay there all day. But as soon as he starts to pull up, both the right hand in the scoop and the left foot are getting worse and worse and worse. So you got to move quickly, but not so quickly that you blow the friction off. That's another sort of, although apparently fairly simple movement, it's complex.
So we're going to take a little pause to thank our sponsors. So these Youth Bouldering Nationals are presented by MEC as the title series sponsor. We've got the North Face as the event partner. La Ville de Montréal, on a On-Site, Simple Volumes, Flashed, La Sportiva, Black Diamond, Digit Climbing, and Mad Rock. So these competitors are treated to amazing boulders set by experienced route setters, and you've got just overall amazing infrastructure around all these people, and all that is brought possible because of the support of these sponsors. So it takes time, resources, and money to organize these comps, and these companies are behind gyms, are behind the CEC to bring you more of this, and that's great news for Canadian climbing.
Absolutely. On remercie toujours le Bloc Shop aussi for hosting this event. And you see Chief Simon Parton scrubbing a hold. There was some blood. Usually they come out if there's something to deal with when we're looking at blood, and no one started climbing up, so I'm going to guess that that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see him. He's got the
they're rubbing
peroxide,
alcohol.
the rubbing alcohol. It's something that we do, of course, take quite seriously. It's maybe in the gym, every now and then you see blood on a hold and you kind of don't think too much about it, but in competition we protect our athletes, we take it very seriously, so we pause, and we make sure the boulder gets clean, and then we make sure it gets dry, the rubbing alcohol to disinfect, and
Yeah.
we'll get a little bit extra chalk back on there so that the playing field is re-equalized.
And it's not surprising at this point in the comp to have to do that, because this has been 3 days on. We've mentioned this before, but you know what? I got to empathize with the skin issues. So, when we look at these climbers and we look at what they're doing right now, bear in mind this is a third day on. They're sore. The skin's off. They're doing their best out there. So, and these are comp situations that you see on the World Cup stage as well. So by having young athletes know this, they can prepare in accordance. And skin management is one of these things that you need to get down really well in order to progress.
Yeah, and it's worth noting while we have time to talk about it that if you are bleeding in the middle of your 4 minutes, if you can't get it stopped and in control to the judge's satisfaction, that's not a technical. So blood on a hold from someone else is a technical. The time it takes for them to clean the hold is not counted against your time, so you'll get that back. if you can stop the bleeding, you can climb again. So if you stop the bleeding and they're still cleaning the hold, then you're not penalized any time at all. If they're stopped cleaning the hold and you haven't got the bleeding stopped, it takes you another minute. That minute, that's on you, unfortunately. So you don't get to just get all your time back because you lost some extra skin. So that's one of the harsh realities of climbing, is that you've things that are almost out of your control sometimes have an effect. So this won't be a technical. They noticed it at the end of Anne-Sophie's round. So we just take an extra minute. They're going to check all the holds that she was touching. And then the ladder comes down. The brushes are out. We're pretty much going to be ready to roll. All right, and we are ready to roll. Back on track. In the middle of your screen, you got Yinky and Dylan pulling onto their slab climbs. And Sophie here. Moving through the start.
Alors Anne-Sophie qui a maille à partir avec ce début.
And Victor Baudran trying to get that right toe to stick.
Amazing core strength and contact strength right there by Victor.
Swinging around trying to get it right. And he's going to go slow and steady. Still need to bounce. Yeah, you saw that left foot let go just as he got to the most critical point.
Dylan Bokenfour getting to the zone. Wow. And we had a flash here by Sean Faulkner before, so this boulder number 3 might be for the taking.
It does look that way.
Oh! And Dylan, who's in solid form this final round, just slipped out of those the final second to last hold.
Just as he was putting pressure on that left foot, eyeing up that finish. Finish hold's really quite good. If you get anywhere near it, you're going to stay on it. It's gently in cut on a slight overhang. These guys are definitely strong enough to reel that in, but you got to get there.
Alors Anne-Sophie ici qui ne semble pas vouloir opter pour l'utilisation de la palette qui est à droite. Alors la palette qui est quand même une très bonne prise puis qui peut peut-être te donner une certaine forme de position avec un talon ou une pointe. Alors la compression, c'est pas compliqué. Il faut avoir une force d'opposition qui peut s'égaler. C'est-à-dire, je tire autant avec mon bras gauche que je force avec mon pied droit en opposition. Et peut-être que ça peut aider Anne-Sophie à progresser. On va voir. Meanwhile, Victor on high up on boulder number 3.
Again.
Yep.
You can see how much he's working for keeping his right hand on. Getting close.
And Yinky Yi.
First woman to top that boulder.
And she'll be happy because she fell off the top of boulder number 2 and she's been climbing well.
Yep.
43 seconds for Dylan Bokenfour.
And Anne-Sophie, who is yet to get to the zone.
Oui, là ici, on la voit utiliser un crochet de pointe.
Mais quand même choisir avec la main droite.
Oui.
25 seconds, lots of time for Dylan. Oh.
And it's interesting that he's opting for different beta because he had,
It worked.
cruised that section earlier, but perhaps that's when, timing starts playing in your head. You know that the clock is ticking and you're making, bolder choices.
Rash
taking,
decisions.
Yeah, bigger risks.
They don't always pan out, but in your head you're thinking, I got to get up it, I got to get up it, I got to get up it. All right. Sonia Colliander, Guy McNamee on the Youth A side, Madison Fisher, and Finn Battersby for the juniors. The Youth A boys, full BC representation. 4 minutes. Guy putting a bit of a brushwork in before he starts his climb. Madison Fisher right up onto the slab.
Trying to carve himself a jug.
Yep.
Out of those big, more flat hold pinches.
As hard as you can. Brush it out. Madison Fisher looking good on the slab. In what I thought, these women are strong and both flexible, so it's much easier for them to get a high foot and work their way out of it than maybe it would be for myself to do so.
Yeah, there's a difference with what's difficult for you and what's difficult for them.
Yeah, true.
And
sometimes a rather large difference. It's a good look at the top of this boulder from Madison. That right foot is so small, and she didn't trust it enough to put all her weight on it, you could tell.
And Guy McNamee, he just campus stuck those 2 pinches.
Oh, not close enough to go completely static. See a very small left foot adjustment, getting into a little bit more the meat of the hold. Oh my goodness, Guy.
Wow.
Allez, Guy.
This is a real battle for Guy.
He doesn't want to bounce, but he needs to.
Yeah, you want to do it statically, but the setters had intended this. And that's harsh.
Yeah, a lot of time spent on that right hand. Definitely took its toll. Sonia Colliander back up on the start. Finn doing what Dylan did, which is sort of the lean in. You see his right hip just collapsing under him. Oh my goodness, man.
That was improbable, but that's where, perseverance comes into play because she
bobbled it and managed to bounce her way onto the finish crimp, which is not very good by all accounts. Guy, we're going to see Guy is going to continue to campus his way through these pinches. No, moving toe hooks this time. Sapping energy, squeezing those pinches. Sonia getting the bonus.
Allez, Sonia.
Allez, Sonia. We're looking in control here. Just the way she chose to palm the zone hold instead of try and grab the edge of it. And you saw Guy making the decision quicker this time, but with no greater amount of success. And he's going to walk away.
Yeah.
30 seconds. He doesn't think he's going to do the top. It's not worth the energy for him. Meanwhile, Finn and Soko are taking one last crack with 30 seconds to go.
Soko's been a true warrior through this round. Came up empty-handed on boulder number 2, but gave it some really convincing burns in that last minute.
Absolutely.
I think 3 different
three different tries in less than a minute. And that'll do it for both of those two. Finn meeting the same fate as he did on his first and second tries, just not able to stick the move right after the zone. Over on the left here, Brennan Doyle. And then you've got Lisa Van de Panne in the middle, Riley Galloway, and then Zach Richardson on the slab. Turning around in unison. And Brennan Doyle has shown through all rounds that he has the ability to bend his arms and pull down holds. Might be excited to see this boulder a little less techy, a little more squeezy. Sometimes they like that in a round. Just be able to thug it out a little bit. So it's definitely a thug's climb at the beginning.
Yeah, these BC climbers are thugs. Thuggish climbing.
Who doesn't mind a little campus action every now and then?
Wow,
still
just sticking that 3-finger open hand.
Feet are overrated, I guess. Brennan Doyle, what are you going to do at the end here? Going to try and go static 2. It's not as deep as you think it is, that finish hold. The shadows make it look better than it actually is.
Yeah, and it's the profile. I'm sorry. I had to. I don't think that works.
I don't know that that works. I don't know that that's a thing. Zach getting way out, trying to keep his balance and just rushing the foot switch.
Lisa at the zone.
Getting the thunder cling, which is a thing. It's a really interesting, it's a pair of crimps that provide this little thumb catch. Pair of footholds, really.
Yes, actually, very small footholds at that.
Good control from Lisa. Staring down the finish. Oh, and
so Zach doesn't look comfortable at all on this sequence, on this technical slab. I think the strongest effort we'd seen so far was Dylan Bokenfour, second climber out. Actually, no, it was Sean Faulkner.
Sean Faulkner, first climber out.
Sean climbed it. Sorry.
And you see Brennan looking for option, going high on this. Where, I mean, it's not very good up there, but he's kind of just looking for anything at this point. And he gets a palm mantle, unexpected way to finish that boulder. Getting it done when it counts. Really good adaptation to that boulder from Brennan Doyle.
Yeah, he did a great
back.
job on that because he had tried the lock off with the lower portion, which is obviously a little bit more comfortable, but it doesn't give you that reach to get to the final hole. So by palming it a bit higher up, he was able to get just a few inches higher, and that proved to be the difference.
Lisa with a slip. Meanwhile, Zach meeting with no success, and I know we haven't seen a lot of Riley, but she hasn't got past the start. She hasn't been up to the zone yet, so she's been working hard but not getting any success past the first of the two triangles.
So 16 seconds to go. Zach Richardson fighting with all he's got. You see the timer up on top, and he gets it done.
That's perseverance right there. That's got to be 5 or 6 tries to get up into that slab, fall off, and keep going.
Yeah, and he looks angry with himself, but I think deep down inside, he's got to be relieved.
Yeah, tops to top. Obviously, we'd say that tries are valuable, but on that boulder, tops were more valuable than attempts.
That is true.
Just get it done. And you saw that he just barely got his left hand on it, but it was good enough for him to reel it in. So that's going to bring us Ben Newman and Indiana Chapman, B. Evans and David Trudeau. So David and B on the slab, and Ben here on your left on this red boulder, topped only by Brennan, his countryman, as it were, provincial partner.
And David not wasting any time. David se rend à la prise de zone. La maîtrise.
Ben Newman, big, strong climber.
Yeah. And we got a big fan club for Ben on the chat here.
Yeah, we got some family watching. Everybody making progress here. B looking very strong. Ben going static from low down.
And that is a flash, folks, from Ben Newman.
A flash from B.
Wow.
And Indiana Chapman also working on a flash, looking as comfortable as anyone. Oh my goodness, she's going to finish that boulder.
She's got the jib, the no texture jib, and that is it for Indiana Chapman. 3 flashes.
3 flashes all going on at the same time.
Wow.
And now we got David Trudeau and the slab.
And yeah, Indiana Chapman yesterday, she was looking a bit disappointed with her climbing in semis, but you know what? Semis are always a hard round. You just need to get through them.
Yep, just got to get out.
And still be standing, and wow, look at her today. So amazing performance so far, and I think that's going to be hard to beat for the ladies. She's
moving through these
she's a
problems.
gal to beat.
David using that height that he's got, but you got to get out. I mean, he's got nowhere to put his feet, and you're pushing up into a terrible kind of flat undercling, not even, and got to get quite a large foot movement underway.
And you know, it's just
they're panicking almost. They're getting the classic case of climbing when you tell beginners not to do is don't keep reaching with your hands until you're on your tiptoes and no way to generate force. So they have neither of those 2 holds can they pull down on to move their feet, and they're left behind with a tiptoe. So I do think you've got to get right foot up a lot sooner. This sort of tip and reach feels good, but is so hard to get out of, and they've all suffered from it.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, if you look at these holds, the zone hold, I mean, they're dual textured flat hold feet, and
exactly.
They're heinous. I mean, there is some texture on them, just not on all of those, all of the bits of that hold.
I would argue that we've seen more footholds as handholds and less feet than any other comp I've been a part of.
Yeah, that's one clear trend that we've seen in these youth Boulder Nationals is
maybe
feet
it's because
are
all
the new hands.
Maybe all the footholds got used as handholds, and Simon was left to go volume hunting for all his footholds. David just not wanting to make the decision he needs to make here.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Yeah, not enough to camp us out from there. And yeah, you can, I don't know if you can read lips, but that might have been ouch.
Yeah.
He's really feeling that in a knuckle. Yeah,
hopefully he's
hopefully it's
not
just
tweaked anything.
Yeah, just a little bit sore, and you know those are heinous crimps. Ils sont petits.
Yeah, and you know what? You're in a situation where there's pressure, there's a crowd, you know, getting you riled up, and you need to keep everything in check.
Yeah, and he might be bleeding, but it doesn't look like he's pointing at that middle knuckle. So we're gonna hope that that's not serious in any way at all. But he sort of waved the physio over and pointed to his hand. So we'll hope that that's just him saying, I think I did something, but maybe it's not serious. So good thoughts for David. And this brings us to our last climbers on boulder number 3. So just like that, we're through 3 blocks. Man Ellis, who has stormed up one and fought up one boulder. Bronwyn Carnes, Kinder McNamee, and Paige Abakashuk. Bones Abakashuk. Kinder deciding there's no need to waste any clock standing on the mat. Be looking for slightly more success than his brother. Oh. And we'll just camp us through these big flat hold pinches like it's no big deal.
Yeah, amazing upper body strength right here.
They climb with a lot of control.
So we got Man Ellis getting to the zone. Same thing for Paige.
And same thing for Bronwyn. And we got Kinder just not quite making the right decisions. Man moving through. Paige trying to solve the match on the zone. Man Ellis with a quick top.
And I think that's a flash for Man Ellis.
It is. We got Paige here.
So that's interesting because early on it was Zach Richardson flashing.
Paige bucked the shot on the right of your screen, crossing over for the match, and Bronwyn Karnas topping.
So I think this was just, apart from Kinder, just 3 flashes that these top climbers have, treated us to.
Wow, that was fantastic. Hey, you're welcome. You are welcome. All right, Kinder, all eyes on you. Just going to campus again because it is easier.
So just a quick update for junior men. So Man Ellis, 3 tops.
Oh, Kinder, look at this. Tried to go. He's kind of looking for every option here. Palm in the middle, Palm on top. A little bit of help. Oh, Kinder.
1 minute, 30 seconds, though. He's still got another attempt on this one.
He is painfully close to the top of that boulder. He's doing some evaluation. Kinder, we believe. We believe.
So right now, Man Ellis is in first place after 3 boulders. Sean Faulkner in second. Zach Richardson in third. And David Trudeau in fourth. Dylan Bokenfor in fifth. And then we got Finn Battersby.
And it's there's room on that podium. Those guys all have 3 tops, so the 4th boulder is going to be a podium maker. Kinder McNamee, less than a minute. Getting into our now or never type of situation here.
For the girls in the junior category, we've got B. Evans with 3 tops. Then we've got Bronwyn Karnas with 2. Madison Fishing with 2 as well. And then 4th place, Yinky Ying, 2 tops. Then Sophie Buitendijk and Lisa Vandenpan at 1 top each.
Kinder McNamee just coming up shy on his last try. Unable to get that last inch over that crimp. So Youth A girls after 3 boulders. Indiana Chapman with 3 tops and 3 zones, so 3 flashes for her. Paige Bakashuk, 2 tops and 3 zones, just ahead of Maggie Hammer. 2 tops and 3 zones, and then you have Sonia, Riley, Aspin, and Anne-Sophie pulling up the bottom of that field. No tops from them, but zones on all their boulders. And the junior girls, B. Evans, 3 tops and 3 zones. Bronwyn Karnas with 2. Madison Fisher with 2 tops. Yinky Ying. Oh, you just went through that. Which one did we missing?
We're missing the...
You did junior?
Yeah, we need Youth A boys.
Okay. Maggie Hammer, as has been her style, dominating that slab. My goodness.
Well, so there's only 1 boulder, number 3, that's given her any type of resistance.
That was really, 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 really smooth. Wow, Youth A boys. Brennan Doyle, 3 tops. Ben Newman, 3 tops. Guy McNamee with 2. Victor Baudron with 2. Ethan Hoffman with 2. And Kinder McNamee with 1. So, first and second and third are up for the shuffle, I believe, at this point. And, first, second, and third are all kind of those top 4 guys can come down to flashes and zones here.
Yeah,
so
it's a battle
on the
of
podium.
It's the battle of BC, and Ben Newman with his flash of number 3 and Brennan Doyle's flash as well have really come in handy.
Yep. All right.
So this is our last round, folks.
Boulder number 4. Ethan getting up high on the slab but not able to reel in the move past the bonus. Meanwhile, Sean Faulkner continuing to climb well. And on the right of your screen, an interesting heel hook decision from Sophie Buitendijk as we watch a top from Sean flash.
Wow.
Everybody moving well. Let's see if Sophie, I know it's hard to see, but we don't want to leave the wide shot. Sophie kind of just pressing the volume,
got it.
and she's got it.
Sophosaurus in the house.
Wow, that leaves us with Aspin Andri, qui est sur la slab. A bit of a no-hands rest there, as much as you can call it a rest.
Allez, Aspen. She can do this. Démontre beaucoup de patience ici.
Absolument. Elle ramène proche du mur pour le dernier mouvement ici. C'est important d'aller gentiment au fini de la bloc ici. Tranquillement. All right, about a minute and a half to go. Aspin and Ethan qui travaillent sur la slab.
La dalle. On crève la dalle. Non, mais sincèrement, on appelle ça une dalle en français. Ça rend pas la chose nécessairement plus agréable, Pete.
Non.
En termes d'escalade, c'est une escalade très, très technique et où l'équilibre est de mise. On peut pas tout le temps maximiser l'utilisation de nos bras et donc ici, c'est positionnement, jeu de pied, transfert de poids.
Et les genoux.
Et les genoux, comme on peut voir ici avec Aspen.
Un jeu de genoux. Oh, la flexibilité ici pour montrer la pied droite. Elle a fait comme assez facilement la première fois, moins facilement la deuxième. Tu regardes Ethan, là, les deux pieds qui sont lâchés.
Il nous reste 1 minute encore.
Ethan is, I mean, when you're looking at the top of this boulder and you're sure that you can just do one half of a move, but the foot swap there and the footwork not agreeable to him, and he's going to leave without a top on his fourth boulder.
And good work, Ethan, for a really good weekend of climbing, and he's done well for himself in these finals.
Yeah, and a top there would have put him in contention, depending on Brennan and Ben's work. But as we've seen Brennan and Ben go, I mean, although the slab, they were crushing the steeper, more powerful boulders. It remains to be seen how those guys perform in the slab environment. And Sophie Nguyen, Victor Baudrin, Yinky Ying and Dylan Bokenfour. Eventually, Dylan Bokenfour and Yinky Ying will come out. Hidden back in isolation somewhere. There's Dylan. Some industrious brushing from the brushing crew.
Alors, on va voir si Anne-Sophie est capable de progresser sur la dalle ici. Son dernier bloc de la compétition.
Just going to choose to not try the foot swap, come back up and try something different the second time. So it's always interesting when you see a climber not fight to stay on. They make a decision not to waste that energy that they think it's going to be required. They're like, I'll just come down and do it again. I'd rather get a top than worry about a flash. Flashes are important. Tops are more important. So he's made that decision, just kind of tipped off Dylan Bokenfour. Grabbing these big pinches. A little help from the toe hooks.
Yeah.
Where some of his previous competitors chose to only campus. This is good. Everybody moving now. And Sophie, tranquillement. Dylan's got to get powerful here. Just a high match. Trying to get a little bit of right foot help. I don't know that it's going to make a huge difference.
He wanted to palm it.
And on the right of your screen, you see Yinky getting into the triangles. Thinking about that bonus, but not quite enough tension between those feet.
Anne-Sophie Nguyen qui est sur la dalle. Elle a la prise de zone bien maîtrisée. Maintenant, le défi, c'est d'embarquer davantage sur sa jambe gauche et aller chercher la réglette qui l'attend là-bas. Et c'est pas si loin, hein, mais
c'est assez petit.
C'est ça, il faut faire confiance au pied et avoir son bassin par-dessus le pied aussi pour que ce soit un succès.
Donc, les anges proches du mur aussi, c'est une grande différence pour un mouvement comme ça.
Tout à fait, Pete. Ah, et tu vois, quand elle fait ce mouvement-là, la différence, c'est qu'en le faisant, on a vu son bassin s'écarter du mur et ça a fait en sorte qu'elle a perdu l'équilibre. Alors, elle va être consciente de ça. Il lui reste 1 minute.
La main droite, c'est pas assez gros pour recouvrir d'un mouvement comme ça.
Non, évidemment pas. Il n'y a aucune marge d'erreur à faire sur ces petites réglettes-là.
I love that the two on the slab, they kind of both have to tip in and out the same way at almost the same time there. And
mirror moves.
Mirror moves. And then Victor just, man, those feet are
Yinky.
bad. Yinky Ying just
Can
trying to
she
solve
reel it
that
in?
crimp. Yeah, it's a good look at the way
There
this
you
finish
go.
needs to be done. Excellent work. Dylan Bokenfour now winding up. Tickling the finish. 10 seconds to go. That's going to do it for everybody on the round. So only success from Yinky.
And as we're on our last set of boulders, we want to thank our sponsors. So Mountain Equipment Co-op, the CC Youth Bouldering National title sponsor, and the North Face, la Ville de Montréal, on-site, Simple Volumes, Flashed, La Sportiva, Black Diamond, Digit Climbing, and Mad Rock. So look into these companies, folks. They're doing great things. Some of them established companies that we know that are behind climbing on the international scene, and others that are up-and-coming companies, Canadian companies, and also well-established Canadian companies. So they're supporting the next generation of climbers, and so in part we can do the same with them.
And let them know that you saw them on the live stream at the comp, and that's what we want to be able to say, that they're getting exposure that allows us to generate more sponsors by saying that we're getting exposure for them. So it's important that people know what's going on. Ooh, Guy McNamee, sudden left foot slip. Matty Fisher kind of keeping that left heel hook.
Oh, and we just got a prime example of how bad that jib is. And I think the difference with Madison here is that her hips were still out to the left. You need to lean in a bit more to be underneath that hold for it to be even close to be holdable.
Yeah, she really wanted that left toe hook to be the difference maker, but it shorted her match move, and she kind of had a little tiny shuffle. And on a hold like that, I mean, you could just barely have a slip, and you are not going to recover. Guy just doing the same reach here, but looking a little slightly more comfortable.
Wow.
This foot switch will be key.
Wow.
Excellent work from Guy McNamee. Really, really strong. And he's just going to wind up for the finish.
Guy McNamee.
Big smile from Guy. That is a big top for him. He's getting followed by Brennan and Ben, who've got room to take him off the podium. But right now, I believe he's secured himself minimum third place finish with that top.
Yep.
Finn getting diminishing returns per attempt. C'est fatigant les gros pinches comme ça.
Puis il faut les brosser, hein. En tout cas, moi, ça serait mon premier réflexe, même après chaque tentative, parce que elles ont déjà du vécu, mais aussi, effectivement, ne sont pas dans le bon sens.
No, look, this is crazy from Soko trying to get turned into a C shape. Madison with enough power to campus the foot match while on the zone, but can't quite get to the finish.
So can Finn make it through this very burly section?
You can see even there, he's not pinching it anymore. He's just trying to use it as a sloper.
Yeah, and the minute he releases that left toe hook, it just seems like his hips move out.
Not enough pinch left in the thumbs. Madison Fisher, one more try. Can't quite reel in.
And
coming
Soko
through the zone.
right here.
She makes it work, this 3-point match on that volume. But 5 seconds to go. You got to hustle on a boulder that does not treat hustle well.
No.
Oh. Yeah, a smile and a wave. Some good climbing from Sonia Colliander over the course of the day.
What we look for is these moments that, you know, can decide the results.
Yeah, podiums are on the line. Zach Richardson, Lisa Vandepan, and then Brennan Doyle and Riley Galloway. So Brennan on the slab, Riley on the slab, and Lisa to your right, Zach to your left on the big red pinches. This rolling convex wall. Zach also just going to campus. It's not worth trying to keep the toe hooks, he thinks, and electing to match the zone. Interesting, the only one who's done that so far is to skip the low pinch, just stay matched on the zone. Zach Richardson, do you have a flash in you?
Oh.
You could hear the fingers pop out of that finish hold. Van de Pan
doing well, cupping
really
that,
good.
shifting her hips outright, which is what's important here.
She doesn't look super comfy on this match. That tells you how bad this crimp is, that she doesn't just want to come in and match it. But that toe hook's not going to help either.
She's got one index finger on it.
Oh my goodness. Lisa, move carefully. Insecure.
Oh my
wow.
God, well done, Lisa Vandenpan.
And stayed much longer than she needed to just to make sure. See the way she just I mean, it was so bad that she had to hop her left hand in half an inch at a time just to give her shoulders enough room to come in and match that. That's careful, careful, careful movement. Really good flash from Lisa Vandepan. That's going to put her in the running for a podium. Riley and Brennan, this little heel hook.
Yeah, and that just is rather indicative of how bad those two crimps are. Opting for the left hand, Riley Galloway here.
Left hand and close. Zach Richardson.
Back at his high point. This is try number 2.
You see his left foot, he's gone way up high, where he's got a little more height but a lot less purchase.
And so for a split second there, he looked like he was going to favor the palm technique that that Brennan Doyle actually used to good effect.
Or Ethan, I think.
Oh, was it?
Maybe it was Brennan. I don't remember. There's too many of them.
Too many of these BC powerhouses.
Riley very quickly back through the beginning. And let's have a look and see if she decides which hand to go with. Right hand and no mistakes. Riley Galloway. Great. Oh, yeah. That's a smile right there. She's happy for that. No
Great
doubt,
work.
no doubt.
.20 seconds to go, so this is his last attempt for Zach Richardson.
Oh man, that was actually as well as he stuck it. 5 seconds to go. I don't know that. Good finish to the round from these guys. It's a good piece of information. Sean Faulkner and his 3.5-inch ape index, which is no joke when it comes to climbing hard boulders. Indiana Chapman, Ben Newman, Bay Evans, and David Trudeau brings us down to our second last set of climbers. You see over on the right of your screen, B with the heel toe to stay in control through the start of this boulder. Oh, that's a lot of contact strength.
Wow. Yeah.
Making
that was rather improbable.
Multiple hand switches. Wow, that is really strong from B. Evans.
Yeah. Refining her technique and approach on the way.
Yes, she's looking good. B. Evans. Oh, that.
And this is a flash.
A flash from B. Look how
and
excited she is.
A near perfect round with 4 tops for B. Evans.
Wow.
And she knows that she's won it. And Ben Newman.
Ben Newman topping Indiana Chapman.
Wow.
Wow.
Are these 3 consecutive flashes? These people haven't been giving us much airtime.
No. 1, 2, 3 every time.
Wow.
And you know that the 3 who are coming after,
they
Paige,
won't have had the longest rest.
No, and Bronwyn.
So they suspect what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't see David Trudeau. So that tells me, unfortunately, that he's picked up an injury on that last boulder.
Actually, he's that's right. You're right about that.
And he didn't come out and climb the steep boulder. So
this is not good for David.
No, disappointing if he's done something and been given the advice to not climb the last boulder. And nothing is worth real injury.
Right.
So we are careful with our advice to our young athletes, when to push it, when not to push it. So
alors
if your skin hurts,
David, pour ceux qui n'ont pas saisi ça nécessairement, bon, David Trudeau, on lui a pas conseillé de revenir terminer sa ronde finale et grimper sur le bloc numéro 4. Il semble s'être blessé au doigt. Ça, c'est la spéculation, bien évidemment, parce que c'était les gestes qu'il faisait là, à la fin de ses tentatives sur le bloc numéro 3, le bloc bleu sur la dalle.
Ouais.
Alors, malheureusement, c'est le genre de choses qui peut arriver en compétition. On espère, bien évidemment, qu'il va pouvoir s'en remettre, mais c'est toujours sage d'éviter d'aggraver les blessures en continuant une compétition.
Absolument. It's never worth it. And what we're looking at here, Kinder McNamee, Bronwyn Carnes, Man Alice all moving quickly. Paige taking an extra minute to look at the start of this slab. Paige can get herself a second place finish. Bronwyn Carnes flashed. Excellent stuff. Man Alice moving quick.
Wow.
And sort of keep out here. We see everybody moving.
Kinder
slipping off. Paige on the zone. Man trying to go static. Not quite enough, and that leaves us with Paige. The slab climbing slowest of all. Flashable, but still slower. So, right foot up. Lock it down, Paige.
Wow.
Wonderful stuff.
Is that a flash too?
That is a flash. I think that gives her second place. Paige Boklashuk, wonderful round. Really, really good stuff. She's psyched, of course. And now we got Kinder and we got Man. I think that Man has already got himself
the win?
No, he needs to top it.
That's interesting.
He needs to top it. And then Sean Faulkner, actually, as we were discussing, has made himself onto a podium from 6th place. But it's going to come down to attempts here. The man's got 2 tries to get this, and he's on a podium. So he's got to get it second or third try. Kinder, so strong in the shoulders. Kinder McNamee. Oh my goodness.
1 minute 20 though. He's got another go if he wants.
So Kinder not fighting for a podium here, having come in first place. The podium was set. Man Alice can earn himself a win with the top here. Frustration, 1 minute to go. So Kinder climbing for pride, Man climbing for a podium spot. Such good stuff. This is why we climb, this is why we compete, this is why we watch, Phil. Last climbers of the round looking at tops. Kinder McNamee. Yes.
There you go.
Going strong with his right hand on the second try.
And 17 seconds to go.
Man Alice.
And that's it for Man and his comp.
Oh, and you can see the disappointment. He knows.
And this is
he
it,
knows
folks.
He's given up a podium. Or not a podium, a first place finish. So we'll give it about 30 seconds here to make sure all the results have come in. But what it looks like right now on the Youth A boys side is Ben Newman with a first place finish.
Four tops.
The only guy to do 4 tops. Brennan Doyle with 3 tops and 4 zones. Guy McNamee in third place with 3 tops and 4 zones and only a handful more attempts. Victor Baudran, Kinder McNamee, Ethan Hoffman rounding out the round for the Youth A boys. On the Youth A girls side, we're looking at Indiana Chapman with 4 flashes.
Amazing.
Paige Boklashuk with 3 tops and 4 zones for second place. Maggie Hammer, 3 tops and 4 zones for third, making Riley Galloway with 1 top and 3 zones third for Canadians. And then Sonia Colliander, Aspen Endry, and Anne-Sophie Nguyen rounding out that field. What do we got on the junior side? B. Evans with 4 flashes. Sorry, 4 tops. 3 flashes out of that. In first place, Bronwyn Carnes, 3 tops and 4 zones. Yinky Ying, 3 and 4 as well, with just a couple of more attempts to those tops. Sophie Buitendijk, Madison Fisher, and Lisa van de Panne closing out the junior girls round. And your junior boys, that is wrapped up by Sean Faulkner, 6th to 1st in nationals at finals.
Wow.
That is a spirited performance from Sean Faulkner. Mad respect for doing that. Man Ellis, 3 tops and 4 zones, 2nd place. Zach Richardson, also 3 tops and 4 zones, 9 attempts over Man's 6 attempts. Dylan Bokenfour with 2 tops. David Trudeau with 2, and unfortunately retired from injury. And then Finn Battersby with 1 top, down in 6th place. Mesdames et messieurs, ça c'était fantastique. Phil, on est fini.
C'est terminé. Je peine à y croire, mais honnêtement, toute bonne chose a une fin. Et on a eu vraiment des belles prestations de nos jeunes grimpeurs ici. Le futur de l'escalade au pays est assuré. Et je pense qu'il y a plein d'athlètes qui sont dans l'Open, un petit peu plus vieux, qui regardent nerveusement qu'est-ce qui s'est passé ici à Montréal en fin de semaine, parce que les jeunes vont les chauffer, ça c'est sûr et certain, dans les diverses compétitions. Donc, en tout cas, tout ça pour dire que c'était fantastique. On remercie encore une fois les bénévoles, l'équipe d'ouvreurs, bien évidemment les athlètes et nos commanditaires. D'ailleurs, on va parler de nos commanditaires, our sponsors, just to wrap it up. MEC, The North Face, la Ville de Montréal, On-Site, Simple Volumes, Flashed, La Sportiva, Black Diamond, Digit Climbing, and Mad Rock. So thanks to all these sponsors for an amazing comp.
And thank you to SportsCanada.TV, a solid professional crew that we got to work with. The cameramen were on point. The production crew was on point. So really, really appreciated working with these guys. They put on a fantastic show. I think the quality of the stream, somebody was showing me their grandparents were watching back home in Manitoba on a large screen TV with a clear picture. So the days of having to watch a live stream on your phone in order to get good resolution, anything bigger than your phone was going to be pixelated. SportsCanada.TV coming on board with the CEC. They're going to do Open Bouldering Nationals in 2 weeks' time in Calgary. So make sure you check out that. And they're also going to be on hand for Lead and Speed Nationals in just about 2 months back here in La Belle Provence. There's not much else to say other than thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate trying to put on the live stream for you to bring the entertainment at home, try and get some information, some entertainment, and grow the sport a little bit at a time. So if we won 2 or 3 people over, taught them a little bit about climbing, I think we've done our job. Phil, I had a great time working with you this weekend. C'était fantastique. Merci toujours à vous.
Oui, c'est toujours un plaisir de collaborer avec toi, Pete, un commentateur hors pair. Alors, à bientôt tout le monde, on l'espère. Et n'hésitez pas, si vous êtes en ville, de passer chez Bloc Shop.
All right, thanks everybody. That's going to do it for CEC Youth Bouldering Nationals. Thanks to everybody for coming out. Thanks to the Route Setters, of course. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Boulder Climbing Community in Calgary, Alberta. I mean, you're already at home, so you don't have to go home. Stay at home. Flip something on Monday night. It's a holiday here for us. We'll be heading back to work tomorrow, but we had a great time this weekend, and hope to catch you guys online shortly.
When curiosity asks, what's across the street? And monotony says, that's not the plan. Exploration says, it is now.